Hey guys, it's Bubbly back with another speed build. Welcome back to the channel. So glad you're here joining me for today's special speed build, which is Bob's Burgers restaurant and family home recreated in The Sims 4. So are you guys fans of Bob's Burgers, or is it just me? Is there anyone else out there who watches this show? I adore this show. I have been watching it since the very first season, and I've just kind of fallen in love with this family. They are a kooky bunch. They go through one mishap after the other. They're just kind of fumbling through life, kind of just barely making it, skidding by the skin of their teeth. Every episode there's some catastrophe that they get themselves into, and yet they somehow manage to come out kinda on top, kinda on top every time. But usually it's some lesson that they've learned or something that's bonded them together, but in an oddly quirky, funny kind of way. So if you don't know what Bob's Burgers is, if you've never heard of it or never seen it, it's an animated show. And it's about a family who owns a burger restaurant and just the antics that they go through. The mom and dad, Bob and Linda, they're just kooky, crazy parents that, I think they were high school sweethearts, or actually I'm not sure. I don't know if they met in high school or after, but they've been married for a long time and they have these 3 kids who are just crazy. The youngest is Louise, and she wears bunny ears all the time. She never takes them off. Then there's Gene, their son Gene, who just blurts out the most random things you could think of at the most inappropriate times. And then there's Tina, who's obsessed with butts. So the show is a lot of fun if you're into animation, or if you're interested in giving animation a try. Definitely check out Bob's Burgers. It's a good time. It makes me smile, it makes me laugh. It's really a fun show. So I wanted to recreate the restaurant and the family home, and I think it turned out pretty good. Now, the actual build is not to scale of what the house is in the show. I made it a bit wider just so I could fit everything that I needed to fit into it more easily and have less issues with your Sims being able to maneuver around the restaurant without having any issues. Sometimes when you're doing restaurants, it can get a little tricky if it's a smaller build and you have the station where you request a table. If there isn't a lot of room in that area, the Sims kind of get bunched up and start falling all over each other, and depending on how you have your restaurant set up, if waiters have to go through that area, then it can become quite of a mess. And restaurants can be a little bit tricky in The Sims 4 anyway, so we want to avoid as many things as we possibly can to make your restaurant experience go smoothly. So what I thought was really cool when I was building this is the board that they have in the restaurant with the burger of the day. So every day, Bob comes up with these quirky names for the burger of the day that he thinks are hilarious. And the rest of the family is just like, no, Dad, no, it's not funny. Total dad jokes. Like, Bob is like the king of dad jokes that are so not funny. So not funny that sometimes they're funny. Like, I don't know if you guys can relate to it, but I definitely can with my dad. My dad has a million dad jokes that he loves to tell, and it's the cutest thing because he literally cracks himself up when he tells them. So you have to laugh because it's just funny. It just becomes funny because he's funny, because he's cracking himself up. You guys know what I mean. So anyway, I was excited because I was trying to figure out how am I going to recreate the burger of the day board in this game. And then I remember that we have those different types of boards that you can hang up. I'm not even sure if those came with with the restaurant. I'm not sure what pack they came with, but it probably did. I would assume it came with Dine Out, but one of them actually had like a burger and a hot dog in the corner of the board. So I was like, yes, there's my burger of the day board. So I was pretty excited about that. So in the restaurant, it doesn't seat very many Sims. I think there's only 3 or maybe 4 booths, and I think those booths only sit 2 Sims. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know if they can actually sit 4 Sims or if it's just 1 Sim on each side. I'm thinking that it's only 2 Sims that can fit at those booths, even though they're huge, like they're gigantic booths, but I only think that 2 can sit there at a time. So it's a really small restaurant. So if you do take your Sims there, get there early so they can get a seat. But I think the restaurant portion came out looking pretty close to how it looks in the TV show. For the counter, for that side area where, because actually in the front there is, I'm not even sure what you call it, but where you have your counter and that it has that little hinged door that flips up so you can walk through. They have that in the show. We don't have anything like that in The Sims 4, so I just used one of those accent tables there in that area, and I think that kind of worked out pretty good. It kind of resembled the look that I was going for, so that worked out. And then as far as the actual kitchen area where they do the cooking, I honestly didn't find a ton of pictures with a lot of detail showing what was in the kitchen itself. As a matter of fact, when I was researching the pictures of how the restaurant was laid out and what kind of items they had in the restaurant and in the kitchen area, there were so many different variations of what was actually there, how it was laid out, all the little pieces of items that they had placed, where doors were. Every picture was different. So I just kind of used all of them to come up with the floor plan and laying out the items in the restaurant that I thought looked cute and most resembled what I remember from watching the show. So I think I did pretty good. Now, for the life of me, I do not know how to create a sign in The Sims 4 with that would actually say Bob's Burgers on the outside. I don't even know if that's something you can do. If you do, I'm assuming it would be custom content, but I'm not 100% sure because if I remember correctly, I think I downloaded a McDonald's a long time ago that someone created, and I have no idea, I can't remember who, but it actually had like signs that looked like actual images from McDonald's menus and the actual golden arches that looked like they were true representations or copies or whatever of the actual McDonald's. So I don't know how they did that. I'm not sure. If you guys know of a way that you can actually get that stuff into the game and it's not custom content or flagged as modded, comment down below and let me know because I have no idea. So in my thumbnail, I created it, but in the actual build, it just has one of the signs that came with the game. It's one of the signs that I don't know which, again, I'm so bad with the packs. One of the packs, there was a red sign, and I just used that to replicate the Bob's Burger sign. Now, for the family home upstairs, the layout of it was pretty tight. There is 4 bedrooms in the house, but they were super tiny, especially Louise's room. Her room was like the size of a closet. It was so small. So I kind of made it a bit bigger than what it actually was, and I had to change the layout a bit. It wasn't exactly as the layouts that I found online of what the floor plan of the house actually is, but it's a pretty close representation of the home, as well as the styling of the decor and the colors that were used, I tried to replicate that as much as possible. The only thing that I really didn't use are rugs, because we don't really have a whole lot of options for rugs in the game. So I just used basic wood flooring throughout, and then I picked and chose different area rugs that had the colors that were the actual color of the rugs in the rooms to kind of represent, you know, those colors of whatever the rugs were in each room, each bedroom. So this house only has one bathroom for 5 people. That's a lot of people for one bathroom. So it is a rather large bathroom, and I did manage to squeeze in a washer and dryer in the house too, in like a little closet off of the master suite. The kitchen is quite small. It includes the dining area within the kitchen, but it can seat everybody comfortably with one of the round tables that I love. Those are my favorite. I love those tables. And that's exactly what they have in the show as well. So that was pretty cool. I was actually pretty surprised how much of the stuff that I was able to replicate and make it look pretty similar to how it actually looks in the show. I was pretty happy about that. So yeah, your sim should not have any problems with maneuvering or having any issues with the restaurant either. I did play test this house, but I play tested it as someone who is visiting the restaurant. I did not play test it as an owner of the restaurant. But there shouldn't be any issues with it. There was the only issue that I did have when I play tested it, which is my total brain fart, was I completely forgot to set the menu for the restaurant. I had selected custom menu and then I didn't choose anything for it. So when I was play testing it, the waiter was bringing trays of water, and then I kept getting exceptions, and I'm like, what is going on? I was thinking maybe I placed something with move objects and it was causing a problem, and then I realized, nope, you forgot to create a menu. So I did go in and fix that to just a custom menu to resemble like a burger place, but you could definitely change it to whatever you would like. And yeah, so there was no other issues with the house. I think it turned out pretty cute. It's quite colorful. There was a lot of pinks and purples and reds and yellows that were used in the actual house in the show. So I tried to replicate all of those colors in this house. And at first I was thinking, I don't think this is going to look too good with all of these colors mixed together. But in the end, I thought it ended up looking pretty cute. So when I was decorating the kids' rooms, I tried to pull out items that were representative of their personalities. So when I was thinking of Tina, I was thinking about her obsession with ponies, with horses, how she loved horses. And I really wanted there to be like a horse decal that I could put on her wall, but I couldn't find anything that was close to a horse. But I did find a dog that was like chasing after a ball or something like that. So I put that on the wall. And then we do have a toy that is a horse. So I put that in her room. I sized that up and put it in her room. And then I also put the llama in her room, which I thought was pretty cute. And then for Louise, Louise is an interesting character. She's quite mischievous. So I translated that into her being creative. So when I did her room, I put lots of different hodgepodgey looking things that didn't look like maybe they quite were supposed to go together, but when you mix them together, they just kind of work. And that's kind of how her personality is. She's got all of these different sides to her. When you look at it, from a distance, you're like, how does that even work? But then when you get to know her, it totally works. So as far as for her creativity, because she's like a master, she's like the evil mastermind of the show. I use the term evil loosely, but So I gave her the little creative, or the little desk that the kids can use to like draw pictures and stuff, and I imagine that she would be sitting there plotting to take over the world or plotting to take down the neighbor at that little table. So I thought that was a lot of fun. And then for Gene's room, Gene is just, he's kind of all over the place, and so I wanted to put like bright colors in his room, just like that were kind of all over the place, like bright blue, bright orange, bright yellow, and then some browns, and just things that were just kind of like in your face, because he's kind of in your face, but not in a bad way. He just is like, he just blurts out the most random things. So you guys, I really hope you enjoyed this build. If you did, go ahead and comment down below. Let me know how I did. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you have any ideas about any other builds you'd like to see me do that are based on TV shows or your favorite characters, let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!
Just far away, but I'll stay, I'll stay. Just take a leap of faith, we'll find a way for you and me. Can't look back, can't run from what I feel inside. There's no more time to hide, because I feel again, I feel again. Oh,